Hello guys, and welcome to a new Let's Play. Today we're going to be playing some Victoria 2 with the Historical Project mod. And the nation we shall play as is Portugal. So for those who have been subscribed to my channel for some time, you will maybe know that I have actually made a Portugal campaign before. Although that was way back. That was not with the Historical Project mod, and I think I made the campaign, around the time when Heart of Darkness was released, which is the last DLC for this game. I mean, it is so far back that it was before my channel had the permission to make custom thumbnails. It was back in 2013 I made that campaign. But yeah, I did promise in my recent EU4 campaign that I was also going to start up a new Victoria 2 campaign for those who would like to see that. And if you recognize the flag in my autosaves here, you might be able to guess what nation I was originally intending to do. But I think I'm going to postpone that campaign until after this one, because I've been listening to a podcast about the Latin American revolutions. This is on the Colombian Revolution, or the Grand Colombian Revolution. But I got really inspired, and I felt like I wanted to rebuild the empire in the Americas. Now, obviously, the big player would be the Spanish, and try to, rebuild the Spanish-American Empire. However, the way infamy works in this game makes that generally not possible as Spain. There's simply too many states in the Americas that used to be Spanish, to the point where a Spanish reconquest can only really be done if you puppet them. And I don't know, like, puppeting the Latin Americans just doesn't feel like as cool of a thing to do as actually retaking the land through glorious conquest. So I thought we were going to do the next best thing, which is to try another Portugal campaign. And we are going to focus this campaign on the reconquest of Brazil. For those who watched my previous Portugal campaign, that campaign was not focused on that at all. That campaign was basically me messing around, doing all the dumb shit you can do in the base game. Basically, I took almost all of Africa, if I remember correctly, because you can do some really cheesy colonization in the base game where you just take the coastlines and then you essentially just get to colonize all of the interior for yourself. I did a bunch of that stuff and it was kind of hilarious. I also blobbed a lot into China because the base game doesn't really have any limitations that prevent you from doing that. And I took Korea, and I blobbed into Spain. It was a very sort of blobby and messy campaign, but it was also a lot of fun. I took a lot of India and stuff like that. But I thought in this campaign we're going to try and be a bit more historic. Well, obviously in history Brazil was not reconquered by the Portuguese, but they were historically Portuguese. So the goal of this campaign will be to sort of try and do what I assume the Portuguese government would have wanted to do if they had the ability to do so, which is to retake Brazil. We're not going to be puppeting Brazil, we're going to take them state for state and try and annex the whole darn thing back into the Portuguese Empire. Now you might be saying, that's not really possible, is it? Well, technically, it depends. Victoria 2 is a game about random RNG. A lot of what determines what you can do in the game is determined by that. And if you have bad luck, you can do nothing, but if you have good luck, you can do a lot of stuff. So I did the math, and Brazil, let me bring up my card, my document here on my second PC. So Brazil has a total of 13 states that would each cost 11 infamy to take. However, the last state will cost 22, because then you have to use the conquest casus belli, so you can add 1 to those 13 states. And then you can do 14 times 11, that gives you a total cost of annexing Brazil of 154 infamy, which is kind of a lot. However, there are things we can do to try and lower the cost and make it more realistic to actually conquer the place, because if you do the math about how fast you lose infamy, you lose 0.1 each month. So if you do 1.2 times 100, you can sort of see that you overall, in a total campaign of 100 years, you have around 120 infamy to spend on stuff. And you might notice that 154 infamy to annex Brazil is more than the 120 infamy we have to spend in this game. But as I said, there are ways we can try and lower it. The obvious one is that the odds of actually gaining 154 infamy are not necessarily that high. When you justify a war, there's a certain percentage that you'll get less than 11 infamy. So we are going to try and rely and hope that we don't have to pay as much infamy as we might in a game where we have maximum bad luck. What I'm also thinking of doing is to go fascist by the end of the game. And I know I go fascist all the time, but fascism in this game has a lot of nice bonuses. The main one I intend to use here is that fascism allows you access to a special version of the conquest casus belli, which allows you to conquer states, or it allows you to conquer countries that have 3 states. So if we reduce Brazil to their capital region, which is here, and these 2 states around that, we can then conquer all of that for 22 infamy, effectively reducing the total cost to 132 infamy if we have maximum bad luck. And that's only 12 infamy away from the total amount of infamy we can spend. And there are other ways, of course, we can reduce infamy. We can try and conquer the Horn of Africa as well as Ethiopia, which costs a total of 5 infamy if you do it right. And however, you can see there's a lot of nations here. So what you can then do is you can just release all of these nations for 2 infamy reduction each, which will then, well, I haven't done the math here, but you can see that you lose a decent bit of infamy by doing that. And we're also obviously going to be blobbing into West Africa, because that's the standard strategy for anyone playing the historical project mod, so we cannot really deny ourselves that little glory. And there are a bunch of states here that we can potentially release as well if we need more infamy to take Brazil. Other than that, I dare not really set too many goals, because as I said, we're going to be spending almost all our infamy trying to retake Brazil, so we won't really have much infamy to spend on other fun stuff. So it will really depend on what we get. Maybe we'll get some free casus bellis and stuff like that. I don't know. What I would like to achieve though is I want to try and achieve a thing called the pink map. The pink map is, well, I don't really know what's called the pink map. I guess maybe the map that was originally talking about. Point is, the pink map is a map that shows what Portugal wanted in Africa. So we know that Portugal historically was able to expand their holdings in Africa to the modern day borders of Angola and Mozambique. But historically they did also want to link up their colonies, which in terms of this game I assume means taking Katanga, Zambia, Rosby, Mashonaland, and Kazambe, and Nyasaland. Maybe avoiding this province or something. I don't know. Maybe just these 2, because this is a part of Congo, so I assume that's going to automatically go to some other nation. So that won't really be a realistic thing to get, I assume. So maybe just Zambia and modern day Zimbabwe will be the way to do it. Regardless, I think that would be a cool goal. Now, I think there are some events that make the British intervene if we try and take modern day Zimbabwe. Although I don't know, we will sort of just play the campaign, and we'll see exactly how all of that turns out. So that was a long rant about my plans and my justifications for trying this campaign, because I don't think I've seen a campaign on YouTube yet where someone has actually successfully retaken all of Brazil, and I think it would be a really fun thing to actually try and do that. So what are we going to start with? Well, I think we're actually not going to start by invading Brazil, because at the beginning of the game, Brazil is actually more powerful than Portugal. They have 10 brigades, which is only 1 more than we have, but they can mobilize a lot more troops, because they have... Actually, the populations aren't that different now that I look at them. Although I assume that a decent bit of the pop that we have are located in colonies and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of the pops here are in colonies, and you don't get as many troops from them, so... That is... Yeah, I don't think we're quite as powerful, because the Portuguese have more people of their accepted culture. Regardless of who is the most powerful dipshit, the person, or the country I should say, that I want to begin invading is actually Uruguay. Uruguay was, if I'm not entirely incorrect, a part of the Portuguese colonial empire at some point. So I thought it would be fun to try and include Uruguay into that empire as well. Now, obviously it's 22 infamy to take Uruguay, but what I'm essentially going to allow myself is that we're going to not save scum, but restart the campaign scum, I guess. I don't like save scumming, but I've always sort of allowed myself, if you want, the ability to take a nation without taking infamy in the beginning of the game. Essentially, we're just going to restart the campaign until we can annex Uruguay for no infamy. A lot of people might very much disagree with that. I fully respect and understand why you think this is a cheesy strategy, but I don't know. Like I find it hard to argue against that that type of I find it hard to argue against allowing yourself to do that, simply because like no one says it's wrong to restart your campaign in EU4 until you get the opinions you want. I'm pretty sure I did that in my recent Massalia campaign in the Imperium Universalis mod for EU4 as well, so no one shouted when I did that, so hopefully not too many people will be too salty about my invasion of Uruguay here. So let's see, it's 167 days, which hilariously enough is actually less than it takes to justify an acquired state, which is 333 days, so that's kind of interesting. Also, we have the liberals in power. And they have pro-military, so let's see, Casas, Belly acquisition speed, plus 20%, and it's 30% if you do monarchicos, yeah, these guys. So we're gonna swap over there, and ooh, we have a thing, we can nationalize the industry. Do we want to do that? Sure, let's do that. Yes, we have a decent bit of unique decisions that we did not have in the base game when I played as Portugal. We can sell away part of Indonesia, but we're not going to do that, and the game has already kindly removed the checkbox from that. Cash crops is just... Ooh, really? We can change a province to coal? Yeah, that's totally what I want to do. Yeah, but we can organize Angola colony, which is a generic decision. Colonial army is as well a generic decision that any colonial power gets. So we get the Sino-Portuguese Treaty of Friendship and Commerce. Now I think basically what this does is that it removes any Chinese cores on Macau. Although I haven't actually read the text, so we'll figure that out more later. And then we have this thing, which gives us a province. The province of Mocamedes. I don't know, is that related to Mozambique? Maybe? Mocambege. Maybe not. Is it over here? Ah, it's over here. Never mind. It was in Angola after all. Now I think there are also some events related to Portuguese expansion in Africa, so those are also things we'll have to look into. Now, are these territories? Let's see, colonial map mode. What is the life rating? No, they are actually 10. So you can't colonize this the normal way, but I think there might be some events that let you colonize this a bit early. Now I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with Gaza, because it would be quite expensive to annex them the normal way. But Portugal usually ends up with this territory, so I'm just going to assume that there are some events that give you these territories at some point. If there are not, we're going to have to wait until 1880 to get the cheapest casus belli possible, so that we don't waste the precious infamy that we need to annex Brazil. But yeah, did we start justifying? No, we did not, but let us do that. Let us justify against Uruguay, and let's see if we can get this on the first attempt. So let's go. Other than that, well, let's not do much else, to be honest, because we don't know yet if this will be a valid attempt at this playthrough. Loango wants an alliance, and I think they ask for that every time. So that's just this guy. I don't know why he wants an alliance, but whatever. I'm not gonna... I don't see a good reason to reject it. There is no diplomatic limit or, relations limit in this game, so... Let's tax people to space, because we have a very good and awesome space program. So what are we building right now? Are we building something? Not that I can see, so I have no idea what on earth we're paying for. Clipper convoys. Are we building a navy? No, we're not. Are we fixing the navy? No. Well then what are you doing? Oh, okay, so oh fuck, that's the naval budget? Jesus Christ, we have an expensive navy. Oh no! Oh no, we don't have nearly enough to pay for that. Jesus. Yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of parts of this. This will not do. I want to keep the transports though. We're one of the few nations in the entire game that actually starts out with some fracking transports. The standard thing to start out with is like 3 transport or something. So we'll try and find the magic number where you can keep your navy from deteriorating, but still not. Yeah, like there's a certain point here where you have to pay a certain amount in order for your navy not to just die by itself, and it's not the lowest possible paying. That is just there to try and make it so that you can't have a big navy for free. Although presumably you know that because that was added into the game ages and ages and ages ago. Let's send our troops to... Jesus, my game is lagging. I should probably alt-tab out and see if I have some programs running in the background. Now we start out with shit literacy. And I'm a bit torn. Do we want to try and prestige scum our way up in the world? Okay, I think we're going to start with medicine and then we're going to scum our way up with prestige. Although, I mean, the earlier we take... No, I think we're going to try and scum prestige. We're a sufficiently weak nation to where I think that could be really valuable. Actually, let's go to... Fuck, what is this called? Guinea-Bissau? Lower Guinea. Guinea. Yeah, I don't... There is like a nation here that speaks Portuguese still today in the modern world. Although I don't know if these are the borders exactly, or... I just don't know. Macau becomes a precious metal. Ooh, neat. So we get treaty port. This is... this is a special HPM mechanic, or I guess most mods, to be honest, have this. It changes to gold essentially to simulate the wealth of Macau. We got yeah, that's okay. I was sort of thinking of scubbing my way to 0 infamy, but I find it a bit too lucky to actually get such a good roll like so early. Yeah, he still has not gotten any allies, so the RNG is good. The RNG is what? Reform rally? Can we not do this? Become more conservative. Yeah, that sounds like good. That sounds like good. I know English grammar. Right, so allow annexations. I guess we don't even need to land, although I think there is a has been at sea for a long time modifier in this game, so let's try and avoid getting that. And let's invade. Now I think, Paraguay starts out with some rebel issues. So they only have really 1 brigade, and we're going to declare the war now immediately, just so that hopefully they don't get any allies. We could get the UK in on it, but yeah, there's not necessarily anything negative by doing that. Although, I don't know, I'm always super paranoid when I try to call in great powers whenever you play, but I don't think there's anything they can do to really fuck this up. But I'm still too paranoid to actually call them in. I don't dare. If this goes badly, then we'll call them in, but I will just hope that that does not happen. So let's get down here. Now, let's see. Can we get access from some of you memes? No? You don't appreciate my dumb face? Nah, I think we could potentially get it. Oh, Brazil actually likes me. Yeah, I think the whole independence thing was actually kind of derpy. Yeah, that's a good way to explain. Like, I should probably research exactly how Brazil got their independence, but it was not like a revolution in the same way that the other American nations. I don't think there was an independence war. If I remember correctly, it was something about, like, there was essentially a united monarchy of Brazil and Portugal, and then the Brazilian part broke away. Although I should probably stop speaking before I say something that is incorrect. So let's see, I don't want to kill his rebels, because that sounds like a waste. So let's go here instead. Yeah, he's running away, so you go do that. You go kill your own army, like that. See, can I get access? Wait, oh yeah, that's right. Naval access is not a separate thing in this mod, or in this game really. Been playing too much EU4, I guess. You can also walk through uncolonized provinces without meeting any natives, so let's go do that. Oh, look at that! The Argentine Civil War is broken out already. Interesting. So that's the end of that war. We'll annex Uruguay. And there it is! Yes! The beginning of the Portuguese reconquest of the Americas have begun. That sentence was not properly structured, but that's fine. We actually lost the position there, that's sad. We're barely a secondary power. Very bad indeed. Now who are you? Nationalists? We will kill them all, I am not too worried. Alright, so now we'll need to begin plotting our invasion, or our first invasion rather, of Brazil. And whether or not such a thing can even be achieved. Preferably we'll need allies to achieve that. I wonder actually, maybe the British would be willing to join such a party. They were totally willing to join this, so I don't see a good reason for them not joining the Brazilian Empire. But we have some infamy laying around, so there's no real rush to do anything specific. So I looked around in Latin America a bit, and wait, you're at war with Brazil? Maybe that's why he wants to... War Pacific? Really? Brazil joined the War of the Pacific? Well, that sucks for you, Peru. See, maybe, yeah, army strength, yeah, okay. Yeah, presumably that is presumably the reason he's willing to ally me. Because no one else in America is willing. But I don't want to join the War of the Pacific. That'll be a mess that I don't want to get involved in. Regardless, I think this will be a neat little place to end the episode. The first episode, that is. We have, well, I have explained exactly what my goals for this campaign will be. We have begun the Portuguese reconquest of the Americas. And hopefully, if the RNG gods are in our favor, the reconquest of Brazil will be a success. Sadly though, we'll probably only get to enjoy the conquest of Brazil for a couple of years, if that, because I assume that if the reconquest is successful, it will happen very, very, very late in the game. So let's hope that we are lucky, I guess, and hope that the events in Africa are nice or stuff. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching this first episode, and until next time, bye.